Hi, I wanted to do a kind of a short video, a little bit about the Healy and consciousness and coherence, and why um, taking a path to healing through a higher level of consciousness can be much more effective than what most people do. You see, often in the holistic realm, we look at allopathic medicine and doctors and medications, and we accuse them of just chasing symptoms with drugs. And then sometimes, however, we do that in the natural health field too. We look at symptoms and try and fix all the symptoms with different, supplements or therapies or different things like that. And we're so concerned about having the perfect diet and avoiding certain foods that are triggering for this. And this can be especially true for certain what I generally label wacky health issues, like um, all these weird immune issues that can be very challenging to fix. And often what the trap people step into is that they want the 5 sequential steps on exactly how to get there. And your health journey can be the result of a lot of hard work and stress and feeling you have to do everything perfectly and not make any mistakes in order to get to where you want. And that's really quite exhausting. Your your health journey, getting to where you want to go, can't be the result of winning the personal development Olympics. I assure you, there's a better way. And so the Healy is a great tool to help you do that. And I want to talk a little bit about consciousness so that it will make more sense. Okay. So if we have a conversation about consciousness by going into looking at the map of consciousness, okay. And when we look at the map of consciousness, this document right here is from a book called Power versus Force. Okay. And the understanding is this: is there's 2 different ways to go through life, in force or in power. So force represents the bottom of the map of consciousness, and power represents the top. So when people operate in force, they push on things and it pushes back. And you can get things done, but it requires a lot of your energy. And as you operate in force, your value and your identity are dependent on 3 core things: your personal performance, how people treat you, how institutions honor you. And there's really no rest in it. Okay. If you can shift and you can start operating on the top of the map of consciousness by connecting to God's unconditional love defining you, then you can have peace in your life, because you're going to be worth the same tonight as you are today. And as you operate in more peace, you can be wholehearted. Things can flow in your life as well. And one of the things to understand is that when you operate in force, to fix things, people typically take a certain attitude of, okay, I got a problem, I'm going to focus, work hard, do everything perfectly. And this type of tunnel vision that we step into makes it difficult to solve things, because you can't see anything outside of your box. Okay. And if you shift and you go, you know what? I'm unconditionally loved. I'm not on my own. There can be beautiful solutions can connect and arrive for me. Then I can look outside of my small box and I can see beautiful solutions. And these outside the box solutions are an aha moment, which lends themselves to simpler, effective, more beautiful, more easier solutions and results. And typically, one of the things that happens for people with chronic health issues is that they start off with a personality of being very driven and needing to perform at a very high level. And they typically are wearing themselves out, especially wearing their adrenals out, because they've attached very strongly their value to their performance. And you see, if your value is threatened, it's like drowning. You will do anything to fix it. And often people in this situation, they don't really care so much that they're sick, but they care that they're not performing as well as they want to. and it's very challenging for them. So they push to do different therapies. They'll do too many they'll do too many programs too quickly on the Healy, because they're driven to get better. Okay. And one of the problems is, as soon as they start getting better and they start feeling a little better, a little bit more energy, typically they'll take that energy and they'll immediately use it to pushing themselves and start doing more in life instead of resting in the peace that they're loved and they don't have to do anymore. And this cycle of having to do more so that they can be worth more takes you out of a higher level of consciousness and disconnects you from flow in life. And so one of the things to understand that the Healy can be very helpful with is if you can sometimes spend a little bit more time on trying to raise your level of consciousness, working with the aura and chakra analysis, working with a lot of the emotional things that are in Healy. And if you can connect to peace and the fact that you're unconditionally loved, you'll probably be surprised how profoundly that can actually help you start changing your physical health, because the more peace you're in, the less fight or flight you're in, then your nervous system starts working properly and your immune system starts working properly. And then all your physical issues start coming into alignment and your body can start fixing itself. So that's why, choosing a higher level of consciousness with the Healy and with other practices can help speed your healing, right? And when we talk about coherence, what we're talking about is coherence is the ability to connect very strongly to what's important, which is unconditional love, that you're already worth everything, that you can rest, okay, and being very flexible with other things. Like if I'm very connected to unconditional love, I can be very flexible on how we get there, when it happens, right? It's like you can flow a lot easier because you're solidly connected to unconditional love. Anyways, hope that is helpful and gives you some insight on how to use your Healy, and especially if you have chronic health issues, how to more easily and effortlessly step into beautiful health.